Hey guys, welcome. In this video, I am going to cover important things beginners would want to know about bloxfruits and provide useful guides and strategies. Note this will not be too in-depth, as that will ruin your experience of the game. Half of the fun is learning the game and looking things online. So this video is meant to get you started with the basics and provide valuable tips for your long journey. Before that, some of you might not even know what is bloxfruit. So let me give you a brief explanation. Bloxfruits is one of the most popular Roblox games, created by MyGame43, currently averaging 300 to 400k players daily. No, not all of them are real players, and some being bots and auto-farm hackers. I will talk more about that later in the video. Most of the game is a bandit beater, so if that's not cup of your tea, that's understandable. The game has a lot of fun side quests that keep the game fresh. I mean, if you don't like the bandit beater in the first place, then the side quest won't be a saving grace for you. And the most loved element of this game for a lot of players is the PvP aspect. The PvP is really fun, but requires skill and practice to figure it out. When you spend time learning and practicing a combo, then getting lots of kills with it, it's very rewarding. Alright, with that said, let's get into the video. So before you join the game, you will be provided a choice between being a pirate and a marine. Note that each time you join, you will be asked this again. This doesn't really matter, so go ahead, choose any. But let me briefly tell you what they do. If you choose being a marine, you won't be able to damage other players who also choose marine. Being a marine, you also get faster and cheaper boats. You will also be able to get money if you take a pirate player's quest who is similar level to you. If the level difference is too high, either you are higher level or they are higher level, this message will be shown. You can take this quest at the Marine Starter and the Marine Fortress. If you choose being a pirate, you will be able to damage other pirates and marines. But note that pirates have an ally button that allows them to ally other pirates, not marines. So your pirate allies won't take damage from your attacks because of this freedom of being able to make allies and being able to damage everyone. Most people choose being a pirate because it's more convenient. That's all the main differences between a pirate and a marine. Anyway, after you spawn in game, you will see that you are here or here, depending on what you choose. It really doesn't matter. So now go ahead to this guy and choose the quest and start beating the bandits and level up. The process I just told you is around 80% of the game. Currently, the max level cap is 2,550. So you will have to do this roughly 2,550 freaking times. Of course, not in the same place. As you can see this compass on the left side of the screen, after you reach a certain level, it will guide you towards the next one. For example, in this first area, the level you need to move on is 10. After that, you can move on to the next island, which is the jungle. Sometimes it's better not to move on to the next island, because it might be more efficient to grind more in the same area before moving on. If you want to know when you should go to a different area and how to kill bosses more easily, I highly recommend you watch one or the videos of Noob to Pro from Gamernum. He covers all the good strategies to level up fast. So go watch him after this video. Don't go to it right now, as you will not fully understand it. Okay, now let's talk about one of the most important aspects of the game. Something that is literally in name of the game. Bloxfruits. Okay, so in this game, just like the anime One Piece, there are fruits called bloxfruits that give you powers. They can be separated in 3 groups: elemental, beast, and natural. Elemental fruits are usually some element like fire or ice. Beast fruit turns you into animals or some other things. Natural fruits are basically the fruits which are not elemental or beast, so they get thrown in this category. It's basically the anything that's not elemental or beast category. Currently, there's 39 bloxfruits in the game. All of them have their own unique powers. Some are good for grinding, some for PvP or traveling, etc. But some are also useless, especially the cheaper ones. But it's better to have a bloxfruits than to not, as there's no real disadvantage to having one, except for taking damage in water, which in hindsight isn't even that big of a disadvantage, as you will spend most of your time on land anyway. If you want to know about every fruit, I recommend reading the bloxfruits wiki or watching YouTube videos. If I talk about every fruit in the game, it will take quite a bit of time. So I will only cover the most important fruits. Firstly, I want to tell you about the elemental category of bloxfruits. As for leveling up, they are the most important. So if you eat an elemental fruit, the biggest advantage you get is that NPC that are lower level than you won't be able to hit you. This is called elemental immunity. So if an NPC is 15 level and you are 16, they won't be able to hit you. But bear this in mind, that the level needed to activate elemental immunity keeps increasing. So if an NPC is level 700, you will need to more than around 16 levels than the NPC, around 716, to activate the elemental immunity of elemental fruits. And when you are around 1000 level, you will need more than 100 of levels to activate elemental immunity. So, why is that? Because the devs freaking hate you, and they want you to keep playing the game as much as possible. Anyway, that doesn't matter, because there's actually a better fruit for grinding. The Buddha fruit. Buddha fruit is not an elemental fruit, but by far it's the best grinding fruit. The reason is simple, it makes your hitbox bigger. So, you can hit enemies from afar, without them being able to hit you. So, how do you get bloxfruits? There's two main methods. The first is buying from the fruit dealer, which can be found at Middletown. Every 4 hours, random bloxfruits appear on his stock, which you can buy with the in-game currency, called belly. The rarer the fruit, the less chance it has being on stock. If you buy a fruit from the fruit dealer, it will replace your current fruit. The amount of fruit that appear on stock varies from stock to stock. Sometimes there's a lot of fruit on stock, sometimes only a few. Rare fruits appear on stock less, and also cost more. Buying from the fruit dealer will replace your current fruit. If you wish to know what fruits are on stock in real time without joining the game, then you can visit bloxfruits fandom stock page, where they update the stock in real time. Okay, that was the first method. The second one is buying from bloxfruit gacha. You can spin a random fruit from this NPC every 2 hours after reaching level 50 from using bellis. If you are under level 50, this message will be shown. If you are lucky, you can roll very good fruits from this guy, but mostly you will roll bad fruits. For beginners, rolling from gacha is a good method to get fruits quickly, since even if you get bad fruits, it will still be useful in early game. And using money you get from grinding with bad fruits, you can save money for good fruits to get on stock like light or Buddha, which will be good for grinding till endgame. Also know that you can only have one fruit active at a time, so if you eat another one while already having a fruit, the one you ate will replace whatever fruit you had. If you are under 50 and want fruit, then you can head to jungle and look for fruits there. You can store fruits in your inventory, but only one of each. So people who roll fruits and get duplicate usually just drop them in jungle. I recommend you server hop in jungle until you get a cheap elemental fruit. If you don't know what server hopping, it's basically leaving the server and joining another server. You can do it via two method. First one, you can just exit the game and rejoin normally. Or the second method, which is better, you can use the server button. That is in top right corner. Just press this and scroll down while clicking servers until you join one. Server hopping in jungle, you can get cheap fruits fast. You can also try and ask high-level players for fruit. But please don't beg. Everyone in this game hates beggars. There's more methods to get block fruits, but those require you to be higher level. So if you are a beginner, you don't need to worry about it. Alright, that was everything about bloxfruits in a nutshell. As I said earlier, that if you want to know more about bloxfruits, you can visit the bloxfruits fandom page, aka the bloxfruits wiki, or watch YouTube videos. Alright, on to the next part. So, what are stats? In this game, stats are the main way you get stronger. Each time you level up you get 3 stat points, which you can put either in melee, defense, swords, gun, or bloxfruits. Stats are very important. How you spread your stats directly correlates with how fast you level up and how well you do in PvP. Putting stats in melee increases the damage of your fighting style and also gives you more energy, so you can dash, jump, and use your abilities more often. Putting stats in defense increases your HP, and putting stats in guns, swords, or bloxfruits increases their damage respectively. This game also has guns and swords, but they aren't very good for grinding. But for PvP some are very good. Out of all the stats, melee and defense are the most important, so putting adequate points in them is a must. Otherwise you won't have enough energy to dash and jump. And putting stats in defense is important, so that you don't get one-shot by NPC and players. After putting stats in melee and defense, put the other one in gun, sword. Or for beginners, eat a bloxfruit and put it in bloxfruits, though Buddha fruit is an exception. I mentioned Buddha fruit earlier, but let me explain in more detail now. With Buddha fruit, you don't need to put stat points in bloxfruit, since the hitbox buff is passive. That means you will only need to focus on melee and defense. And there's another passive buff of bloxfruit, which is 40% damage reduction on every attack, which means you won't need to put that many stat points in defense, leaving you with lots of points to put in melee, giving you insane damage output. So that's why bloxfruit is the best grinding fruit. Okay, back to stats. Now that you know what stats are, you are probably wondering how you should spread them between stats. Well, if you are a bloxfruit user, whose main way to deal damage is with bloxfruit, then putting in ratio of 1 to 1 to 2 should be fine. That means if you have 100 stats points, you should put 25 in melee and defense, and 50 in bloxfruit. Of course, you can also customize your stats. For example, if you need more damage, you can put more stat in bloxfruit. Also, don't try to go for a hybrid build, where you put stats in sword and bloxfruit. In this game, putting such stats, you won't become jack of all trades, master of none. You will just be jack shit at everything. So don't try to go for such a build. For PvP, it could work out if you are skilled, but for grinding, no. Okay, on to mastery. In this game, every weapon, fighting style, and bloxfruit has a mastery bar. If you last hit the NPC with whatever you were using, its mastery bar will go up, and it will essentially level up that thing. The higher the mastery of a thing, the more damage it will deal. The max mastery is 600. Alright, guys. Get ready, because I am gonna get into some technical stuff about mastery, and then yap about why mastery sucks. First of all, how much EXP you need to level up your weapon, fight style, and bloxfruit is calculated by this formula. In game, you won't ever need this formula. So, why am I bringing it up? 2 reasons. Firstly, using this, we can calculate the total number of EXP needed to fully max out mastery of a thing. If you plug in value from 1 to 600, while rounding the numbers when necessary, and then add them all together, you will get the total EXP needed to fully max out something, which I calculated, only to find that Wiki already did it. Anyway, the value is, get ready, 348,679,674, which, as you can guess, takes a lot of time to grind out. The second reason is that if you plot these values on a graph, you will get this. As you can see, this is an exponential graph. This possesses problem when grinding. The midway point for this graph is for 185. Imagine someone grinding for hours to reach mastery for 185, thinking they only need to grind 100 and some mastery to max out their weapon, but not realizing that in actual reality, they are only half the way there. Another reason why mastery is hated is because to unlock the abilities of weapons, fight style, bloxfruits, you will need a certain amount of mastery. The better the said thing is, the higher mastery requirement to unlock all its moves. That's why even if you get a mythical bloxfruits as a beginner, it's not a good idea to eat it until you are higher level, as grinding with those fruit is more painful than your dad's belt. That's pretty much it about mastery. Just know big mastery equals big damage. Alright, I am ending the video here. I wanted to include more things like the problem of hackers and auto farmers, more complaints about mastery and grinding, include something about PvP and the abilities you can buy. But I can't. If I make this video any longer, my device will explode. So if this video gets 69 likes, I will make part 2. Also, if you watched all the way till the end, thank you. This is my first long-form video. Anyway, do the YouTube things if you are still here. And see you later, Pokebear.